We don't see many Tesla killer headlines anymore, but I guess they're back in vogue. I guess I've been guilty of using one recently. I didn't actually write it, but still, it's a bit of fun. But I am not the street. The street has one. They're talking about the new Tesla killer, the Jeff Bezos back impossible truck. And that's what we're going to discuss. I got my good buddy Herbert here from Brighter. He's going to help us understand the context of all things Tesla killer, because there have been so many killers to date, all of them acquitted due to lack of evidence, but maybe this time it'll be different. We'll look at the product and the pricing and ask one very important question. What? I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So, I just have one question. What? So yeah, this is the worst of the articles with the worst of the headlines, but I had to show it because Jeff Bezos is quietly backing a potential. Yeah, since Jeff and his wife founded Amazon in his garage. Well, that's great that you're getting all the keywords in there. They did some work with Blue Origin. Here's just a picture of him. But here's some actual headlines. That looks pretty cool, right? All kinds of cool stuff. This is Slate Auto. Jeff Bezos backed $25,000 electric pickup. Mm-hmm. I mean, how cool is that?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It looks tiny. It's tiny.
Maybe it is. But the real question is, can you make an electric car anywhere other than China for $25,000? And I don't even mean sell it for $25,000. Right there, you're talking crazy talk. But can you even build a $25,000 EV?
First of all, this is common practice. Even Tesla does this, where they will announce a product. They'll say, this is the price point of this product. Then the day comes when they produce it, and the day comes when they launch it, and it's not that price point yet. This is like aspirational price. It's based on volume sales. That you need to at least get minimum 250,000 per year of this vehicle to be able to start taking advantage of any scale components to it. And so there's so much to go on to this. But sure, I mean, why not? I mean, if you believe you can make a $25,000 EV, then yeah. I mean, I can. You are the expert in this. Tesla Cybercabs. The estimates there is that it could actually get to $15,000 price point. It's the batteries is typically the component that you need to look at. How big is the battery? How far can it go? So the Cybercabs, as you pointed out, is designed to be mostly short trips. They don't travel very fast. They're mostly going to be in the city. They're not meant to go long range, and so they're going to cut back on the batteries, and that's how they can get to the $15,000 price point. Is the point of this truck it's not going to be used for business? Is it just, it's not used for delivery? Is it just for a toy? What is it? Like all that has to come into play.
Now, I will point out that this company has already raised $111 million. Now, you just pointed out correctly that in order to get to any kind of reasonable price point, you need outrageous volume. And 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 a year is not going to get you there. You need serious volume. 111 million would not buy you the paint shop for the factory. Yeah. So I'm going to argue that this is an uphill battle from the get-go. So I don't know, more concrete details coming for this week. As for the truck itself, information is scarce. Yeah, I'll say. Although the previous prototype sighting told us that the truck would be a 2-seat, single-cab workhorse, which should appeal to first-time buyers, aiming to be priced at $25,000, poised to become an affordable alternative. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not an alternative to the Lightning, the Cybertruck, or the Silverado.
Right, they're totally different.
On size, exactly. Totally different.
Yeah.
Size,
which is actually a smart
comfort.
thing to do, right? It's very, very important when you're a brand new car company, vehicle manufacturer, you have something very, very, very different approach. So when Tesla first came out, they went with the high-end Roadster, right? Very expensive, right? $250,000. Only the super rich will buy it, but they're willing to buy because it looked cool. Great. When Lucid came out, they tried to do the same thing, high-end sports car, Problem is, Tesla already had their Roadster up. They had their model, their high-end cars already. So now you're competing with a existing market. And so I think that's why one of the reasons people think that Lucid kind of called it wrong. When Rivian came out, they came out with a truck, the very first electric vehicle truck. And there was no alternative to that. Perfect. They came out. Now, of course, Cybertruck has come to challenge them. Immediately, Cybertruck is already the best-selling EV today. But for a few years here, Rivian had cornered the market. They came out and they had something that no one else had. So for these guys to come out and say, hey, my truck is so much cheaper than anyone else out there. And yeah, it's not a competitor. This is a totally different animal here. It's like a totally different, you're not competing with a Cybertruck. You're not competing with a Ford F-150. This is a totally different market. And yeah,
I would argue
if you do it, you can do it. Just like Chinese, they've got these cars that are $5,000, $12,000, $20,000. They have a fantastic market. They're doing fine. No margin. But
I did get a chance to go out and see the Wuling Mini, and for the one I looked at was, I think, 6,500, and it was amazing. It was so good for 6,500. Would I drive one in the US? Maybe not. The doors were very thin. Side impact looked like it would be a little concerning, like it would have in a early 80s Japanese compact that you would buy in the US. But it was very well put together for the price. The fact that let's say some nice things about Slate's approach. 2 seats, 2 doors is cheaper to build, without a doubt. I would say that making it smaller, fewer atoms, less to move around, less weight, that's going to reduce your cost. There's no aggressive autonomous approach on this. There will have to be, forward collision warning, lane departure, I'm sure. But all of that is relatively cheap compared to the sort of thing you would put into a vehicle for full autonomy. Those things will save it some money. Having the smaller, lighter battery, having smaller, lighter motors, I guess all of that could work. But 25,000?
It's aspirational. They'll come out. They won't. Like I said, almost every car company always says something like that, a very aspirational price, and it rarely happens. It's just made me realize that this small pickup truck, this idea of a mini truck, it exists in Japan and other countries. They're tiny and they exist. So I can see maybe there's a role for it.
I don't know why. Well, I do know why. In the US, small trucks died because of the complicated math surrounding economy, fuel economy.
Yeah,
and it made it so that
as I learned about what's going on in the U.S., right? Because the U.S. is suburbs and cities separated by highways. You need to travel far. To get from one neighborhood to another neighborhood is far. It's a big country as opposed to Japan and others, right? Compact areas. You can get a lot of things done in a small footprint. So the U.S. requires bigger batteries. They need to travel far. So that's where the question is, okay, are you going to sell Slate to the US? And if so, what is the market size? Who's going to willing to buy it? Imagine all the range anxiety today with these massive EVs, with the massive batteries. That's why they started off with the big boys. Imagine what the range anxiety would be if you have a tiny little battery and a tiny little vehicle.
Well, we know that in China, they're using LFP batteries. LFP batteries do not have the same energy density as a high nickel battery, NCA, NMC type battery. And yet the Chinese market seems happy with the shorter range they're often getting. I went out to a used car dealership yesterday. I had too many questions about these cars are garbage. They fall apart. No one, so I went to a used car lot to find out what the real prices are on used cars and what the quality is. I wanted to pull on all the trim pieces and see what fell off. And what I found was that these cars are in remarkably good shape. You'll find all the usual scuffs and scratches that a car gets over its life. But another thing I did notice was, regardless of the brand of car they had, and they had Mercedes and BMW, and they even had a Hummer and a Bentley there, regardless of the brand, the miles were pretty low. People in China, I guess, especially in the city, don't rack up the kind of miles that we do. And there are people who own cars in the city who will still take the metro because it's quicker. It's just I mean, they've got trains going every direction, every 10 minutes. It's a very effective and affordable transit system. So not everyone needs the kind of range that we see in the US. If these trucks are going to be sold internationally, they're going to be competing head to head with Chinese offerings. And I'm deeply skeptical. And I will tell you that right now, Slate's biggest obstacle is they're going to need like $5 billion. Mm-hmm. And if Jeff Bezos is one of 3 investors who in total put in 111 million, that's not a very serious commitment. That's not enough money.
What is the title of the article again?
Yes, let's pull that back up. It is Jeff Bezos is quietly backing a potential Tesla killer.
They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. They have to add the word Tesla killer. If it succeeds, it could hurt Tesla.
In what market? In which segment? In which category?
Take a look at the Slate again. Is anybody out there really think that the Slate is a competitor to a Cybertruck?
Well, this one has a broom.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a truck. I guess trucks compete with Cybertruck, but I mean, yeah, Cybertruck and this are just not even the same thing. It's just a joke,
no.
But okay.
No, this will. I would argue that this will literally take away. If this was out today and available at volume, I would argue that it would take away no sales from Cybertruck. Mm-hmm. It's not in the same price category. It's not in the same size, the same seating, the same comfort, the same autonomy. It is completely different. I'm glad to see companies out there trying new things, doing things. I think this is not. Yeah, it's just the article. I feel bad for Slate. I think if they'd have started 5 years earlier, they might have been able to catch the wave. There are a lot of companies trying to do exactly this, latch on to retro movements. I've got a video coming up about Great Wall Motors and their tank series of off-road vehicles. Some of them are pretty retro and pretty cool, and have very little in terms of autonomous features, because that's not what they're for. They're for going off-road and doing serious off-road stuff. And they're on the market now, but only in China. So, Herbert, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for being flexible with our schedules while I am on the road. As you know, I'm never on the road. I'm always on the road. I'm always China. Somewhere. Next month, I will be in Mexico City for a time, checking out everything there. And rumor has it, perhaps going to the dentist because it's so much more affordable. It pays for my whole trip. And then after that, I'll be on my road trip out through Idaho, Utah, Colorado, South Dakota, maybe Nebraska. Anyway, out to Michigan and then back. So if you're along that path, reach out to me. I may be doing an event near you, and I'd love to just meet you guys. So everybody else, thank you for your help and support. Please do subscribe. Head over to Herbert's channel, find out what he's up to. He gets some great guests. We had an absolutely amazing live stream to cover the earnings report the other day, and you managed to get not just the best people together, but the best mix of people whose skills and styles complement one another. And I think that's a real unique benefit and why I enjoy doing those so much. So guys, what did we miss? What do we misunderstand? Leave it into them comments below and stay tuned, stay juicy. I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots once you've subscribed.